It's another phenomenal day here in paradise. The weather is unreal. A nice breeze blowing actually, and it's just making it feel a little bit cooler today. The air's crystal clear as well. A few clouds around, but nothing too much to worry about. You might remember probably a week or so ago, maybe a couple of weeks ago, I talked about this free visa that was being proposed for Aussies visiting Bali, and I just wanted to give you an update on what the progress is. Now, what's really interesting about it is there's now a stoush between two ministries, and what it revolves around is, I'll go back to where we started. The tourism ministry wants to increase tourism numbers into Indonesia, which have been a little bit subdued because of the war in the Middle East there, and the price of aeroplane tickets has gone through the roof for some Europeans, and they want to sort of counteract that by trying to stimulate things a little bit. And one of the ways they're trying to do it is to try and give free visas to a few different countries, and that had already been in train for a while anyway. So they've actually put these proposals to a parliamentary committee who are really receptive to it, and it's now going towards the immigration stage for them to implement changes. Well, that's where the problem lies, because the immigration minister has pushed back against that proposal and said, I don't think so. So let's dig into what exactly happened. It's pretty interesting actually. So the immigration minister basically came out with a statement on the 22nd of June saying that, you know, when Jokowi, the previous president, opened up the country to all foreign countries for free visas, I think 160 countries or something got free visas at that time, the immigration minister claims that foreign currency reserves in Indonesia didn't actually increase because of that, which means he's sort of saying, well, so what's the benefit? And after COVID, when the number of countries was only cut to 16 free visa countries, you've actually got more visitors now to Indonesia than you had pre-pandemic. So that's another sort of argument that's sort of gone out the window a little bit. So his conclusion was, if you give free visas to countries, it doesn't automatically increase your revenue into the country. You don't get benefit from it. That's what his claim is. But it's a little bit more than that, because when you dig into his comments, it gets to the heart of the Indonesian psyche, and that's why I'm actually interested in the story. It's not just about whether it's a free visa or not. There's something really interesting there about how Indonesians think about themselves, their own country, and how that relates to colonialism when the Dutch used to run the place. So where it gets spicy, and I guess the key quote is when he says, "Mengobral negara kita." Yeah? Obral is the word for sail, when you're having a sail. Mengobral is the verb for that. So when you're selling yourself cheap, yeah, and negara kita is our country. So he thinks that when you do this, you're selling the country cheap, and there is no dignity in that. The actual words for the dignity thing is really interesting as well. So the words were, "Ini di mana harga diri bangsa?" Yeah? Where is our national self-worth? Yeah? It's about, well, self-dignity, I guess, dignity. So harga diri is self-worth, because the word harga is price, diri is self. So it sort of means self-worth, but in this sort of context, it more means dignity. I think we do the same in English as well. We have the word self-worth and dignity, which are very, very similar, or even the same in most contexts. So he's basically saying, where's our national dignity? Why are we selling ourselves so cheaply? We're better than this. And it all goes back to the way that Indonesia was governed in the past. Before they were an independent country, they were governed by, well, it wasn't even Indonesia at that stage. It was just a cluster of different kingdoms, and it was managed by lots of different people, including the Dutch government, but also private Dutch companies like the VOC, and the British had their part in it, the Portuguese, all sorts of different people were in there extracting and basically treating the Indonesians like rubbish. And that whole thing flows through to today, where people don't want to be treated like that. Indonesians don't want to be treated like they're being colonised. So when you sell your country cheaply and you don't have any self-respect or self-worth or any dignity, it really grates against the national psyches. And that's what the immigration minister is hinting at here, where he says, I don't think we should do this. I don't think we should just go and give free visas to everyone. But he's also has to fight for Indonesians as well, where Indonesians going to Australia need to pay something like 200 Australian dollars to apply for a visa, even if they're really rich and they're no chance of overstaying or working or anything like that. So there's part of that reciprocal type stuff going on as well, where it's quite sensitive, especially as Indonesia becomes a more wealthy country, and you know, its standing in the world is higher, and a lot more Indonesians travel these days. Like the average Indonesian who works in Jakarta will go on international trips quite regularly, you know. So it's a real sort of pain point, a real sensitive point, you know. All right, let's cross over here. I'm going to Ceres actually for a start, and then we're going to get in here and walk around town. I've got another cafe to go to. Well, actually, I'm going to try and go to that Laure that I missed out on last time. The guy actually that owns the place commented on that video and said, hey, come over. These are the times that I have a break. So he's on a lunch break. So we'll see if we can get over there as well. So I've met up with a couple of viewers of the channel. Sorry, what's your name?
Yeah, Jeff.
Jeff, nice to meet you, Jeff.
And June.
June, Jeff and June, the two J's.
G.
A G?
Yeah,
Oh!
spell the word properly, Jeffrey.
June doesn't get spelled with a G. So that's not GG, it's GJ. Yeah, so you're on holiday at the moment, are you?
Yeah, we come over frequently. We've been probably Bali 50 times.
Wow, and why are you over here?
What do you mean?
Right here.
We're over this side because of you.
Really?
Yeah, the serious coffee.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Come here, have a beautiful.
Beautiful coffee, isn't it?
We're staying at, what is it, the Alantara?
Oh, yeah, that's a nice place around there, isn't it?
And just here.
Very quiet.
Next year on Monday, Koyamanis.
Oh, yeah. Oh, beautiful. Hey, good to meet you guys. I'll catch you around in the comments.
Yeah.
All right, see you, mate.
You're a lot taller than I thought you were.
Nah, not that tall. All right, see ya. All right, we just go over here. Got the gang over here. The gang of 4. What's going on? Have we got the seat for me? We got any food or what? Susan's already lined up the scones because it's apparently quite busy today, so she had to pre-order for me, and my coffee hasn't come out yet. But we'll get into this scone first, and it's looking pretty heavy and hot. Let's get stuck in. Just off camera, I've got Mita saying, "Oh, kopinya enak banget itu." That's exactly how she said it too. Mita absolutely loves the coffee here. So Mita's one of the gang that we sort of go out and eat food with it occasionally, and Juni's the dentist that I've featured before. All right, so what they've got is some whipped ricotta. Susan's trying to correct me on here, and some mulberry jam, which they make themselves. I don't know how they get the mulberries. They have a supplier locally. My mouth is watering. Those scones are so good. They've got a bit of sweetness to the actual dough, and then they are a little bit crispy on the outside, but super moist on the inside. I don't know how they actually do those, but they are just really very good scones. Love it. So Juni's just invited me to finish off her scone. She got a cheese scone, which I think is a little bit strange, but because I trust everything here, I'm going to try it. They've got this it's almost like, they call it cheese. It's not cream cheese, but it's like a creamy cheese. You know what I mean? So I'm going to try that out, and it looks like a savoury actual scone as well. Oh. Okay. It's like butter, but it's got like a cheese sticks. Remember the old cheese sticks? It's got a cheese stick type flavour to it. It's actually it flashes me back to my childhood actually. It's really delicious, and that savoury scone, really nice. Great texture. I'd do that again for sure. All right, so Mita has just said, oh, you got to try this biscuit. Like, yeah, biscuit, whatever. They call it cookies, but it's a biscuit. It's got a bit of salt on top, but it's so gooey. I just picked a bit off, it's almost like cake. Look at that. Amazing. That's good too. Really good. Tetiasa. Okay, so this is what they call a quenelle or quenelle, but because my French, as you know, is very poor, I think you're supposed to call it quenelle, but it could be wrong. I wasn't going to try it because it's like a full one. It hasn't even had a bite out of it, but Mita said, no, you must try it. It's like, okay, here we go. So here we go. She keeps saying in my ear, it's the best. It's the best. Ooh. Ooh. Wow. Well, it's got a really beautiful crust on the outside, not burnt, but almost to that stage. It's like quite caramelly. The inside is so moist. Ooh, very good. All right, let's continue on. One of the interesting facets of that whole free visa thing is that the immigration minister talks about quality tourism. And I'll give you a quote. Well, I'll translate it to English for you. We don't want, and I think all of our people don't want, tourists and foreigners who enter this country to be low quality ones. And he's specifically referencing people who are like beg packers. You know, the trend that was sort of happening for a while there, where people who are really poor, no money, coming to the country, going into somewhere like Java, setting up on the side of the road and just begging for cash. They don't want those people. They don't want scammers. They don't want basically all the scummy people. They don't want those people in the country. And I think what he's saying is that when you open your country up to a free visa or visa free, you are opening yourself up to cheapening yourself and some of these low life people. That's what his argument is. Well, that's the other point as well. Someone in my comments last time when I did a video like this said, it's not free visa, it's visa free. Well, okay, fair enough. Like, there is a subtle difference, but like, you get the picture. So after the immigration minister came out with all those arguments, the tourism ministry actually fired back and came out quite strongly and quite sharply stating the economic impact of making visas either free or making them cheaper. And they cited a whole bunch of statistics from different research organisations which show that taxes of any kind reduce demand. And it's not just on the low end either, which is what you would imagine from a purely feeling point of view. But the research, when scientists have actually researched what the impacts are, show quite broad impacts when you impose taxes. I guess it makes sense. I mean, any sort of tax is a signal of how you want people to behave, and that's what these things do. Now, whether it impacts you personally or not, that's another matter. But for, you know, population-wide things, the tourism ministry says that it does have an impact. Well, I'm up to the main. Oh, look at this, up to the main road. Di sini bukan TPS, Anda dalam pengawasan. So that says this place is not a TPS, which is the temporary dumping site for rubbish, and then Anda dalam pengawasan. So basically, you're under surveillance. There must be a camera around here somewhere. I have noticed on this road there are a few cameras every now and then. I'm going to try and get across here again. Every time I come up here, I'm saying, where am I going to get across? Because there are not so many places when I walk this direction, but we'll figure it out. I think one time I just walked through the garden over there, but that's a bit how's your father. Actually, when I just said that's a bit how's your father, something flashed into my mind and reminded me of a comment that someone made recently, which was, if they said something like, if you think this guy has an Aussie accent, well, think again, or something along those lines. Basically saying that my accent is like put on, that I'm not really Aussie. And I thought that was pretty funny. But I'd love to know if you think my accent doesn't sound really Aussie anymore. You know, when you get those people who have lived in like the USA for, you know, 20, 30 years, like someone like Greg Norman, and they've got this weird hybrid accent, and you go, well, that's a bit weird. It happens with Europeans as well when they go to America, and maybe I've got a hybrid Indo-Aussie accent. It certainly happens sometimes when I'm talking about place names or words, the Indonesian words, like orangutan. That sounds a bit weird if you're not used to hearing it said that way, I guess. Anyway, the whole issue of visa-free or free visa is happening now, and it's still not solved. I will keep you updated if there's any results. Basically, the person who decides is the president of Indonesia. His decision, and he'll make the decision that's best for his country. That's fair enough, isn't it? All right, we're across and we're going down Jalan Pungutan. This is an interesting sign. Truck and bus, truk dan bus dilarang masuk jalan dalam kondisi rusak. So trucks and buses are forbidden from entering because the road is, well, I was going to say a rude word then, but I'm on camera, so I was going to say the road is wrecked. That's what it means. That's what rusak means, actually. I was going to say something along the lines of balked, but something a little bit different to that too. Another comment that someone left recently, they were concerned about air quality here because they'd seen a haze when they were coming in on the aeroplane, and they thought that the air pollution might be out of control. Now that's something I have a keen interest in, because I came from a place, Bandung, where air pollution started to get out of control when I lived there. It started to get to dangerous levels. And if you're living in a condition where there's dangerous air pollution all the time, you might not feel it day to day. Some people do get sort of chronic lung conditions and so forth. That wasn't happening to me, but it's almost like smoking a couple of packs of cigarettes a day, and then one day you will get some sort of cardiovascular disease like a lung cancer, or a heart disease, or some other type thing. That sort of creeps up on you. So it shortens your life, and population wide, it's a big problem. So the average life expectancy in Indonesia is more than 10 years less. More than 10 years less. You know what I mean? Like something like 12 or 15 years, fewer years of life than what you'd get in a country like Australia or Western Europe. And it's a lot of different things that add up to make that happen. Quality of the air is one of them, that's for sure. But also treatment of diseases and so forth is bad too. So I, in Bandung, had an air filter that I would run every day, and it would monitor the air quality. And the main thing you monitor is PM 2.5. It's the particles that are so small that they can infiltrate very small parts of your body and damage them. And I was interested that when I came, so if you look at the sky now, it's got a bit of a cloud up there, but not much. It's quite blue. In a place like Bandung, you very rarely see clear blue skies. You do occasionally, but for most of the year, even on a cloudless day, the sky is not bright blue. It's got a grayness to it. And it's basically because you're sitting in a bowl of pollution. And I was getting pollution of between 30 and 50 PM 2.5 a day during the day, sometimes higher if there was a lot of burning off. In somewhere like Sydney, the average is around 7. The WHO recommends it should be down to 5. So even in big cities in Australia, we're not really within the levels that the WHO would recommend. America has a legal limit of 9, I think it is. Here in Bali, this morning I measured it. It went between 6 and 7. You turn that air filter on, it gets down to like 2 or 3. 6 or 7 with the windows open, yeah? So good air quality. So it can go and spike occasionally. That has happened to me a few times where it's spiked. And the main reason for the spike is if the next door neighbour temporarily burns off something, it'll go to like 70, and within an hour it's gone again. So that's only happening very, very infrequently. So it's not really an issue. I mean, if you live next door to a chronic burner, that's going to be an issue. But for me, not really a problem. And for most people, it's not either. I mean, it's not an island-wide issue where you're blanketed in smoke. Like somewhere like northern Thailand, in the burning season, is dangerously the pollution is dangerously high. Here it's not like that. It's funny because on other forms of social media, like I scroll through different forms of social media like TikTok and some other platforms every now and then, and I quite often see people complaining about, oh, the air quality in Bali now is so bad. And it's not. It's not. It might be at your house when your next door neighbour burns off, but island-wide, that's not true. Island-wide, it's fine. There are occasional spikes if your neighbour burns off, which may be happening more frequently now that there are rubbish issues. But honestly, the government's getting these things under control slowly, so I don't think it's a big deal, honestly. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you disagree with me, that's okay. So words that are relevant to that discussion in Indonesian is the word udara, which means the air. Yeah? If you see the word air written in Indonesian, it doesn't mean air. In Indonesian, if you see the word air or air, it means water. Very simple. So you can say air putih, which is drinking water, air minum. But the air that we say in English, air, is udara. There is Angkatan Udara, which is the Air Force. Yeah? So yeah, air is an important one. Sampah is another one that means rubbish. And bakar sampah means burn rubbish. So bakar, you've probably seen bakar on ikan bakar. Yeah, ikan bakar is that grilled fish, or you can bakar sampah as well. And when you membakar sampah or bakar sampah, burning the rubbish. It's got a really negative connotation. So if you hear someone bakar sampah, it's like, ooh, just like it would be in the West as well. Don't burn your rubbish. This is one of the little roads in the middle of the east side of the bypass, so the beach side of the bypass. Very suburban, very residential, very quiet across here as well. Very, very nice place and part of Sanur. But land across this side is actually pretty expensive these days. So it's hard to actually get a place to live here. If you wanted to live here, you'd have to pay a little bit more than you might over on the other side of the bypass. But to be honest, even on the other side of the bypass now, it's getting pretty expensive. Sometimes. You've got to do your homework. That's a cool sign. Awas. Anjing galak. I told you or maybe a week ago what the word galak was. It means someone's a bit shouty, someone who's easily angry. And get out of the way of this car. And it can apply to dogs too. Anjing galak means a dog that's going to come out and bark at you, might even bite you as well. So awas means careful, there's an angry dog here. I love the word galak. It has such a good feel to it. Really good feel. You can joke around with it as well. You can call someone galak even though they're not really galak. You know what I mean? Like, it just feels really nice. It's a funny word. So I've cut through to Jalan Bumi Ayu now. That's the back of the Watu Jimbar Hotel. Yeah, Sanur Resort Watu Jimbar they call it. It's pretty ugly from the back. Like, look at that. They haven't really done the paint or anything at the back. It's the front that looks good. I don't even know if the front looks good actually. Laure, the cafe I'm going to, the guy who runs it, actually commented on my video from when I last went there. And he said, oh, actually, I have lunch between this time and this time. And his lunch time is between 11:30 and 12 o'clock. So I thought, oh, well, I'll make sure I get there before he goes off on lunch. And it's now 11:25. Gee, I hope I don't miss him. I better pick up the pace here a little bit, get there before he goes to lunch. Maybe he can give me a little takeaway and I can let him go on his lunch break rather than disturb him. I actually hadn't planned to stop in at Series Coffee Roasters very long, but when I got there and Susan said she was there, I then started having a bit to eat, which I wasn't planning on doing, and had a bit of a chat, and yeah, got a little bit carried away there, which is pretty normal here in Sanur when you're sort of cruising around. I mean, I get held up by all sorts of stuff. Okay, here it is. Let's have a look. Have we opened? We are closed. Oh, it's not 11:30 yet. Ah, that's disappointing. That's going to become a real problem, that is, if I keep coming back here and I'm not sure what time is really going to be open. I'm not sure what to do about that. I think I might wait around. I'm just not sure, because if I can't trust the time, he might not be back at 12. And then I could be waiting an hour, couldn't I? Just to have a coffee. But I really want to try it out. I'm not sure what to do. All right, I'm not going to wait around. Decided I'll come back some other time, and I'm going to have to make sure I get there like bang in the middle of the lunch time and the opening time. I don't know, I'm probably going to have to go there at like 9 a.m. I reckon it's probably the best time. Otherwise, I'm going to run into this problem again. It actually happened last time where it wasn't quite lunchtime yet and it was closed. So, yeah, it's a little bit frustrating, to be honest. It is a classically Indonesian thing, to be honest, where opening hours aren't so strict, and it does our Western brains in, because we're so wired for everything to be so precise and accurate. So it is a little bit funny when you have this Western mindset, like me, coming up against times which are a little bit flexible. Yeah, it's actually, there's a good word in Indonesian, which is that if you've lived here any amount of time, which you need to be familiar with, and not just familiar with the concept, but also to get it into your thick skull and understand it and feel it, is jam karet, it's rubber time. It's a really great word. Like, it just means the time that you're given is not 100% accurate. I've actually got a really good story about when I first met Susan that nearly changed the course of my life because of jam karet and me not really getting what it is. I'm going to have a little coffee here at Sanur House. Guy here last time said it's the best coffee in Sanur. It was a good one. Hello.
Hello.
You're not a man, you're a woman. Kemarin waktu aku kesini ada laki-laki yang bikin kopi di sini. Oke, aku mau satu hot. Oh, es latte. Es latte. Yeah.
One iced latte.
One iced latte. Yes. Tu aja. So I got my iced latte. It is 54,450. That's 45,000 plus tax and service. It's pretty expensive, but one thing that I've noticed, and it makes sense, is that anything that's iced is going to be more expensive. Not because of the ice, that's one of the things, but it's mainly because you have a lot more milk. And milk here is, well, it's not that it's expensive, but it can be more expensive. And there is a bit of a milk crisis at the moment where you can't always get the stock of milk that you want. Anyway, getting back to the story about Susan and how I met her. On our first date, I would call it, it wasn't really like romantic or anything. We're just going to meet up at a place just to have a coffee. And we agreed to meet at a certain time, and I got there. Well, I got there a bit early. You know, don't want to sort of disappoint the girls and get there late. Got there early, and I was waiting. After about half an hour, I thought, she's not going to turn up. So I contacted her and I said, I'm waiting here. Are you coming? And she said, yeah, I'm on my way. So, okay, on my way. An hour later, half an hour after that, so it's an hour late now. I contacted her again and I said, where are you? She says, oh, I'm stuck in traffic. And if an Indonesian says they're stuck in traffic and that's why they're late, you can basically say I won't say the word lie because it might be partially true, but that is a really good excuse for saying why you're late. So like if you're in Jakarta or Bandung or any of the big cities, you'll often get people saying they're late. Oh yeah, kena macet, yeah. Basically I got stuck in traffic, I'm really sorry I'm late. But it's actually a catch-all for I'm just late, I'm sorry. Really. In Susan's case, she turned up an hour and a half late, I think, or 2 hours late, I think it was. Can't remember. And I was almost going to leave. I was just going to say, oh, I'm not going to put up with this. I'm not going to be late. I actually said to her, look, I was about to leave. Like, don't be late if we're going to arrange. Not understanding the whole jump cut-out thing. And luckily I stuck around because now we're married. We've been together. That was sort of 15 years ago now. So we've been together now, basically 15 years. Interesting though, isn't it, how something so small could change the course of your whole life. Look at that one. That's huge as well. That's why it's 55,000. Really good old mix through. Yeah, need that. Like, even though it's fairly cool at the moment, with like, there's a bit of a breeze and so forth, you still get a bit of heat up when you're walking in the sun.
Mantap.
That's a good one. Like, it just is. I really like the coffee here. Nothing too fancy, but also just what you want, really. I was hanging out there long enough that it's now past 12 o'clock, so I might as well just go back again. Like, I'm going down this street, like, people think I'm up to no good, but I'll go back to Laure and see what the story is there now. I don't even feel like a coffee anymore. I've already had a few today. I had one at home and I've had 2 out. So this will be my 4th coffee, and the one at home is always like super strong. Okay, let's try again. Let's get in here and have this coffee. Here we go. We are Buka.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
How are you?
Good.
What's your name?
Whiskey. What's your name?
Whiskey. Is that like the drink?
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
Is it like that? How do I spell whiskey?
Yeah, long story.
A long story. So what's your real name?
Yeah. No, not nickname only.
Nickname, ya? Jadi, gimana? Kopinya enak di sini?
You try.
Okay, I will try.
Okay.
Ada kue juga atau
Untuk
apa?
hari ini,
Nggak ada?
karena istri sedang kerja.
Oke.
Ya.
Oke, ngopi aja.
Kopi aja.
Ya, hot cappuccino.
Cappuccino, baik.
Ya. Udah
Apa
segar.
kabar, Adam?
Baik. Tahu nama aku ya?
Yeah, I see on YouTube.
You see YouTube?
Yup.
Terlalu banyak nonton.
Yes.
Okay, nice shop. Nice shop.
Thank you.
There we go, little seating area. Nice and cool in here as well. Whiskey was just saying that he, the reason he wasn't open earlier was because he had to go and pick up his child. So his wife is working today, so he's got to do all the other activities around the household, look after the child and all that sort of stuff. So I guess quite hectic when you're a one-man operation. And when you're a small business like this, yeah, juggling things can be quite tough. So yeah, we'll let him off on that one. We won't complain about it. All right, now the craziest thing is going on here. Like, this is my first time here, but Whiskey was just telling me that before I've even been here, people that watch the channel have already been here and bought me coffees, and I haven't even been here before. So I've got 2 coffees being bought for me. This one is by TC, thanks TC, and the other one has Purple Patch Fishing again. They're the guys that I met on the footpath and said hello to about a week or 2 weeks ago maybe. And I've already met them before, but I'd forgotten I'd met them. So it does my head in. So many people, and I really appreciate all the effort you have to buy coffees and say hello and that sort of stuff. And I'm sorry if sometimes my memory's not great and I forget who's who, but I do remember you purple patch fishing because I already forgot you once. I won't forget you again. Until next time. Maybe. It's actually becoming a little bit of an issue with, because I mean, everyone can see the channel's getting bigger and bigger as time goes on, and I mean, I really appreciate it and I'm grateful for it, but it does cause some logistical issues, like responding to all the comments becomes more difficult. I still do that because I think it's great to have the interaction, but it becomes more difficult, especially on a video that does very well and lots of people view it. Having to respond to 300-400 comments can sometimes be difficult and might take me a couple of days to get through them all. Also, when I meet people now, I meet a lot of people when I'm walking around, which is great, but because there's so many people now, it starts to become difficult to put my face to a name, and I'll forget people's names, and I'll forget that I've even met people before, and it's pretty embarrassing, but I mean, what else can you do? It's just life, isn't it? So, yeah, look, I appreciate all the support. I honestly, I started up this channel 2.5 years ago now, just to document my own journey coming to Bali from a different place in Indonesia and to see what the changes were like for me. And it's really been great to share that journey with you and then explore a little bit about the difference between what Bali's like, the rest of Indonesia's like, but also the difference between Indonesia, thank you, the difference between Indonesia and other countries and some of those cultural differences. I've really enjoyed sort of explaining that to people and sharing some of my knowledge that I've sort of built up over the years. It's been great. Let's try this coffee anyway. Let's look at that one. It looks like a good one. Oh, I've got a little cookie as well. What do you call that? Is that an Anzac biscuit?
All cookies.
Anzac biscuit.
It's famous from Australia.
What's that?
Famous from Australia.
Anzac biscuit is, yeah. I don't know if that's an Anzac biscuit, but it looks like one. We'll see. You call it an oat cookie, I'll call it an Anzac biscuit. This coffee, like, look at that. That is going to be a good one for sure. Like, I can see it. Shiny, dark, nice volume, so it's not a very big cup. Mantap. Yeah. She's a good one. She is a good one. What's our price list look like over here? Yep. So that cappuccino has cost me $31,000. Do you put tax on that?
Already put include.
Already includes. Those 31, no tax on top. One of the cheaper coffees here in Sanur. Brilliant. Come and see Whiskey. Now tell me about your name, Whiskey. Why is your name Whiskey?
Because my father is a little bit always drinking coffee before.
He what?
Drinking coffee, drinking whiskey.
So your father used to drink a lot of whiskey, so
yes.
You are called Whiskey.
Yeah.
Who started calling you Whiskey?
I think it's from my child, still child,
Your father calls you Whiskey? Or...
Yes, my father.
Oh, wow, that's cool. So what's your real name?
Ricky. Made Ricky.
So hang on, you've got Whiskey, you've got Ricky, and you've got Made.
Made, number
so,
2.
Like all Balinese, he's got his Balinese name is it's just Made, but if everyone calls each other Made, you say, hey, you're Made, and everyone goes, whoosh, whips around. So you've got to have your own little either second name or nickname. So Whiskey is what everyone calls him. What's your wife's name?
Jill.
Jill, what's her real name?
Real Chipta. Yes, real name, Jill.
Jill?
Jill Chipta.
Jill Chipta?
Yes.
All right, that's the real name. Is she Balinese?
Yes.
Jill. She doesn't have like a Made or Putu or anything?
Made as well.
Oh, she's a Made. So she's Made Jill. And she is a pastry chef?
Yep.
Where?
In Renaissance Hotel Nusa Dua.
Okay, Renaissance Hotel, his wife's pastry chef. She does the desserts and cakes here when she can, but because obviously she works, she can't be doing it all the time. They've got to urus anak juga.
Yeah.
Jadi, so it can sometimes be a little bit complicated, but at the moment they've got the biscuits here, they've got the coffee. Come down here just for a nick in for a coffee. Now this is close to all these other places that I've been visiting around this area as well. You'll know I've just been down to Sanur House, which has got a great little coffee. Up that way a little bit, up through there, maybe only 200 metres, is Cultured, which does all that fermented stuff, does a good coffee, does a good ginger brew, and they do a good coffee here. Beautiful. Okay, thank you, Whiskey. Bye-bye. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, keep going. Interestingly, he's got a great story. He's from Sanur originally, so is his wife. His wife actually grew up really close to where I live now, and they're just a little small business starting out, trying to make a go of it here in Sanur, and I really love the idea of supporting these small local businesses. It's also a bit sad, his story. He grew up without a father from the age of 4 years old, and his mum and he struggled for a long time, and finally he's been able to open his own business. His wife's actually a chef de pastry at a big hotel in Nusa Dua, has worked all around the place. He's a really good pastry chef, so when they have cakes going there, they should be pretty good. That coffee's great. A really strong coffee as well. So if you like a stronger style coffee, whiskey does a really good one there. Also, I want to talk about when I got there, and you know how I was talking about jump cut it and that sort of stuff? And how I got there and it was closed again. And I was like, I was a bit frustrated. Like, even though I've lived here in Indonesia a long time, I still get frustrated like anyone else at different things. I don't go off at it, but you feel this initial, like a hit, like, what's going on here? Yeah, I feel that like everyone else does. I think over time I've learned to recognize that though here, because it happens all the time, and you go, okay, let's jump cut it. Whereas I think sometimes when you hit those things and it's not so familiar to you, or you don't understand the context, you can go off and you go, I'm never going there again. You know, bugger him. So that's the way I sort of handle it. I still get that little hit of frustration like everyone else does. Even on the roads, you get the hit of frustration, but you try and immediately snap out of it because you've experienced it so many times before and you sort of understand it. Just about done here for today, here in beautiful sunny Sanur. I'm glad I finally got into Laure. Brilliant little shop. And I've enjoyed actually going to have a bit of a walk around talking about free visas or visa free, and meeting up with Susan and co down at Serious Coffee Roasters. Thanks for coming along for the ride today, and thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all things Sanur and the rest of Indonesia. I'll catch you next time, and sampai jumpa.